So I am, as you heard, I'm Ceri Smith. I am the Director General of the Office for Investment. I've actually been doing investment work in government for just over 5 years. But just after the election, we announced that we were going to change our investment function in government and create an expanded OFI because the government really believes that investment is at the heart of economic recovery and economic growth. And so the Prime Minister announced that we were expanding the previously quite niche Office for Investment to be effectively the tip of the spear, trying to unlock investment opportunities across the UK. What I'm going to do in a moment is just talk through what we see as some of the opportunities that do exist in the UK. Because the UK is a fantastic place to invest. And actually, government is pretty incidental to much of the investment that happens. We know that most investment happens because there are great opportunities up and down the UK. But we also know that just as any bureaucracy, sometimes the computer says no, and it needs to say yes. And so I have a team of people whose job is to work in partnership with businesses, with investors, to try and reprogram that computer when it says no, to try and deal with some of the kind of symptoms you get with government failure. And we particularly focus on international investors who may not have the insight and understanding of how to navigate their way through the UK systems. But we also work very closely with domestic investors, and we were involved in the creation of the Sterling 20, for example, which I know the City UK has been very closely involved in discussions around. And what are we? We're a bit of a funny bit of government. We report for pay and rations, we report to the Department of Business, but we also report to the Chancellor in number 11 and to number 10. And as a result of that, that's effectively what gives us our mandate and our ability to effect change. Not because of positional power, we don't have any formal powers, but what we do have, as by virtue of being at the centre with that senior sponsorship, is that we have convening power, and we can get people around the table. And very often we find that where there are problems that investors are experiencing, it is because bits of the system just don't really understand what the issues are, and just getting people around the table can unlock incredible opportunities that have been held up for the most spurious of reasons. So we're a very practical organisation. We bring together departments, we bring together regulators and external stakeholders, and our mission is to unlock major investment into the UK quickly, confidently, and at scale. And we work directly with a range of global investors, both FDI and pools of capital, and we work collaboratively to try and identify strategic opportunities, to remove barriers. So that could be policy problems, it could be planning constraints, it can be kind of really nitty-gritty type things. It could be trying to get the A253 bypass through or whatever it may be. But it's that kind of practical ability to navigate through the system that we can offer to investors. And we want to also ensure that we promote the UK internationally. We are at a time of increasing global competition for capital and investment. So we need to make sure that we are an effective investment promotion agency. So as well as my team in the UK, I also have people around the world in, well, we used to be in 100-odd countries, but we're focusing now on the 25 most productive sources of investment. But I have teams overseas who are our sales force and who can engage with businesses who are looking to go global, who are looking to internationalise, and for whom the UK makes a very good, obvious business sense as a site for investment. So increasingly our role is not just transactional, it is strategic, and we're helping to shape sectors, infrastructure, industrial capabilities that are going to define the UK economy for the next decade and beyond. And we know just how important this is at a time of significant change, significant global change. And we've just been hearing about AI, and digital technologies are clearly going to be an increasing feature of tomorrow's economy. There's a transition to clean energy, and there's the need for resilient and secure supply chains, and that has only become even more apparent in recent weeks and months. And we know that investors are looking for certainty, you're looking for stability, and you're looking for long-term opportunity. And we are trying to position ourselves as a partner in exactly that space. Because we do think there are incredible opportunities in the UK, and I want to bring them to life with some practical examples now, if I may. The first of those is perhaps the most transformative opportunity, which is AI and digital infrastructure. So the UK is actually a global leader in AI. We are the third or fourth biggest AI ecosystem in the world. We have thousands of tech companies. We have billions in annual investment, and we have absolutely top-tier research and talent in this country. And I was talking to a very significant digital investor just yesterday who have recently committed £6 billion of new investment to the UK. And he was talking absolutely about the talent being a really key reason for people to want to invest in the UK and for them to want to invest in the UK. So we have recently launched AI growth zones, which are dedicated sites for AI data centers. They have accelerated planning and approvals. They've got access to large-scale power, and they can enable hyperscalers to deploy data centers. And we're already seeing significant progress there, with several zones having been established, with tens of billions of pounds being committed and thousands of jobs being created. And these sites can bring together both computing power, research institutions, private capital, and in many cases, renewable energy, on-site renewable energy generation to accelerate AI development. Alongside this, we are also significantly increasing our capacity for and access to high-performance computing, ensuring that the UK has got the infrastructure that is absolutely key to capturing the most valuable parts of next-generation AI systems. But I'm also very aware and candid about the constraints we face. Access to power, we know, is a problem. Planning and permitting, and financing at scale as compute infrastructure becomes increasingly capital intensive. And these are exactly the areas where partnership is critically important. Partnership with global investors is absolutely essential. So AI is transforming the global economy, and we are one of the leading centers. But it's not just, digital investment is not just about software. It is about infrastructure, it's about power, and it is about long-term collaboration and creating ecosystems which generate positive spin-offs. And we think that there is a huge opportunity there for investment partners. Kind of a drive for carbon-free electrons to power the digital revolution, along with the electrification of everything else in the economy, is creating enormous opportunities for investors. And that brings me on to the second area, which we think is very attractive about the UK, which is energy transition. And we already have a very strong renewable generation base. We have over 30 gigawatts of wind, and we've got over 20 gigawatts of solar. But we know we've got tens of gigawatts more of projects in the pipeline, which are backed by stable government financing programs and a commitment for the grid to be carbon-free, 95% carbon-free by 2030. And that gives a very clear policy context in which investors can operate. But critically, we're also investing heavily in nuclear. So as well as the 30 billion committed through to 29, which includes Sizewell C, the development of SMRs, such as Rolls-Royce SMR. We are also investing in the fusion at Harwell. We've got fusion projects such as STEP. And just a couple of days ago, we heard the fantastic news that Rolls-Royce's SMR has been chosen by Sweden. We do think that this is an opportunity for the UK to corner part of the market and to capture valuable export opportunities. So we're supporting major clean energy clusters and infrastructure developments, particularly in industrial regions. So across the UK, the benefits are distributed across the country, and they're designed to combine that kind of public ambition with private capital at scale, and we think that there is a great opportunity there. And for businesses, especially in engineering, in manufacturing, construction, it's not just a theoretical opportunity, it's an active and very growing market. The third area, which I'm going to go into detail because time passes, but life sciences, another clear area of UK strength that was highlighted in the Modern Industrial Strategy that was published a year ago. Part of what the OFI does is we exist to try and ensure that those industrial strategy sectors actually think about investment up front. One of the more egregious things I have seen in government was a very beautifully drafted hydrogen strategy that set out a huge amount of detail about the potential for hydrogen generation, because the team writing it were the generation team, but nothing on the use case. So, of course, who is going to invest in the UK in this fantastic production opportunity unless government sets out some detail about the use case? So part of what we do then is to try and work with policy makers across Whitehall to ensure that investment is thought about up front and isn't just an afterthought at the bottom of the page where it says, and we will leverage private sector investment to deliver this. We genuinely think that mechanisms like the Sterling 20, where we have a forum there for investors to actually engage very early on with policymakers and to point out what needs to be changed to make something investable. Those kind of opportunities I think are absolutely vital to ensuring that Whitehall raises its game to generally make our opportunities as investable as possible. I'm just drawing to a close. As I said, I think we are entering a new phase of our investment story. I've been, as I say, doing investment for about 5 years, and I'm delighted that we will be having Parminder Kohli join us as our new CEO. He'll be joining on the 1st of October, and I'm looking forward to working alongside him as we really try and ensure that there is a very strong, if you like, a commercial director voice within government to go alongside the very strong finance director voice that Treasury is very adept at articulating, so that we can get a more commercial mindset into policy making to create the opportunities that we think are central to our future economic success. There are lots of other areas of opportunity. You've got defence, there's manufacturing. We've seen a really interesting partnership between Ceri from China and Nissan, where they'll be going into a partnership and building new Chinese EVs in Sunderland. There are enormous opportunities for capital investors as well as for traditional FDI. We think we are entering a new phase of our investment story. We're going from innovation to scale. From individual deals, we're looking at systems and infrastructure. And we are trying to move from just trying to attract individual deals to genuinely building long-term partnerships to invest in the industries of the future. We are working in partnership to remove barriers to major investment. So I have a team that works on planning with investors. I have one that can help with visas. We have the Global Talent Task Force, which works very closely with businesses to try and attract some of the brightest and the best to the UK. We think there are great opportunities, as I say, for us to partner. I look forward to working with many of you because the opportunity is absolutely significant. Thank you very much.